Hey everyone! Ready to dig into some really cool stuff?
Always.
Today, we're looking at the idea that maybe, just maybe, there was this super advanced civilization way before us, like way, way back, and get this, wiped out by some huge disaster, totally gone.
Wow, that's a big idea.
It is. And we're using this interview with Graham Hancock as our guide for this deep dive.
Oh yeah, the ancient mysteries guy.
Exactly. Now look, he's got some pretty out there theories, right?
Right.
But today, we're sticking to the facts he lays out, the evidence.
Sounds good.
Let's see what we can make of it together, you know?
So are we talking like spaceships and laser beams kind of advanced?
Well, not exactly, haha. See, Hancock says we got to think differently about the past.
Okay, how so?
We always assume things just keep getting better, right? Technology, knowledge, all that.
Yeah, that's how history is usually taught, like a straight line up.
Right, but what if there were these, like, ups and downs we haven't even discovered yet?
Like civilizations rising and falling that we've lost track of completely.
Whoa.
So Hancock starts with this crazy event about 12,000 years ago. A cataclysm, he calls it.
Cataclysm, that sounds intense.
Big time. He's talking extinctions, like tons of animals and plants just gone.
Wow.
The Earth's surface totally changing, and the sea level just goes whoosh, way up.
Hold on, how much are we talking, like a few feet?
Nah, way more, dramatically.
Oh, wow.
Think about any cities or whatever, anything on the coasts back then.
Oh, man, wiped out.
Especially if they were as advanced as Hancock thinks, right?
Yeah, it's kind of scary to imagine.
It is. And he doesn't stop there. He brings up this Earth crust displacement theory.
Okay, I've heard of that. Isn't that a bit controversial?
For sure. It says the Earth's crust can shift, like, big time.
Like, how big are we talking?
Huge. Like, imagine the skin of an orange moving around on the inside.
So, like, continents could be in totally different places.
Exactly. And that could explain why we don't find more evidence, right?
Yeah, everything gets jumbled up.
It's like if there was this global disaster, tsunamis hundreds of feet high.
Hundreds of feet.
Yeah, just sweeping everything away, burying it all in mud.
Makes sense why we haven't found any, futuristic cities or anything.
Right. It's not like we're digging up robots and spaceships.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So this brings up a huge question like, are we even looking for the right thing?
Oh, good point.
What if technology back then was totally different from what we think of?
I mean, we're pretty focused on computers and gadgets these days.
Exactly. What if this older civilization was using, I don't know, sound or energy fields? Things we barely understand.
Whoa. Okay, that's kind of blowing my mind.
I know, right? Like, I've heard of sound healing and stuff, but using it to build things.
Or travel.
Yeah, that sounds like sci-fi, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
But Hancock uses this example, Tibetan acoustic levitation.
Wait, what's that?
It's real, or at least there are all these stories about it.
You're saying Tibetan monks can, like, make things float with sound?
That's what the accounts say.
I'm trying to picture this.
Yeah.
Monks chanting, and a big rock just lifts off the ground.
There's a specific setup, they say.
Yeah. Like what?
Quarter circle of monks, each with a trumpet or drum.
Huh.
And these instruments are like mathematically tuned to the size of the rock they want to lift.
That's wild.
Then they chant, start slow, get louder and louder.
And the rock just floats.
It starts to wobble, then rises up smoothly.
Like defying gravity.
Exactly.
So they're creating some kind of sound frequency that interacts with the rock.
That's the idea.
Has anyone actually seen this happen?
People say they have. There are even photographs.
Whoa.
Now, whether you believe it or not, it makes you think, right?
For sure.
Maybe instead of looking for metal gears and circuits, we should be looking for signs of energy manipulation.
Yeah, like totally different ways of interacting with the world.
Exactly. It changes everything.
My mind is officially blown. So where do we even start looking for examples of this kind of lost tech?
Well, let's jump from the Himalayas to a story we all know, but maybe not that well. The Ark of the Covenant.
The Ark? You mean the one from the Bible with the 10 Commandments? I never thought about that as being like advanced technology.
Right. We tend to see it in a religious way, but if you look at the details in those old stories, it starts to seem like something much more complicated.
Okay, what kind of details? I'm intrigued.
Well, think about it. There's a specific blueprint for making it, given to Moses. And then there's the connection to this really powerful and maybe even dangerous deity. Plus, the Ark is described as a weapon over and over.
A weapon? I vaguely remember some stories about it having power, but can you give me an example?
Sure. There's that one with the Philistines. They captured the Ark from the Israelites.
Oh, yeah, I remember that story.
And get this, 50,000 Philistines die just from coming near it.
50,000? That's, like, insane. What happened to them?
The descriptions are wild, tumors, blindness. It sounds like what we now call radiation sickness.
Oh, are you serious?
That's what the texts say.
So maybe there was something more to the Ark than just religious symbolism.
Right, like maybe some kind of technology we don't get.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then there's Jericho.
Oh, yeah, the walls falling down?
Exactly. They march the Ark around the city, and boom, the walls crumble. Some versions say they liquefied, like some crazy energy beam hit them.
Okay, that's hard to explain with just trumpets and shouting, even if they were really loud. Haha.
Right. It's almost like the Ark had some kind of tech we can't even imagine, focused energy or something.
Okay, now I see how this fits in with the lost civilization idea.
Right. We've got the sound levitation, this maybe weaponized Ark. It's wild.
So what else is there? Got any more examples? Something a little more, I don't know, solid?
Sure. Let's go from the Bible to archaeology. Ancient Egypt has tons of mysteries, and the diorite vases are a perfect example.
Oh, yeah, I've seen pictures of those. They're amazing. Those intricate carvings, and diorite is one of the hardest stones on Earth.
Right. Experts have studied them for centuries, and they can't figure out how they did it with ancient tools.
It's hard to imagine what kind of tools could carve like that.
Chris Dunn, this expert in machine tools, even he says it looks like some kind of advanced machining we can't even replicate today.
Whoa, really?
And it's not just the vases. They found drill cores in Egypt, too.
Drill cores, like from drilling into the stone.
Yep, and they show signs of high-speed drilling. Totally impossible with what we know about their tools.
It's like we're missing huge pieces of the puzzle.
Exactly. It's frustrating, but also super exciting. Think about it. If they did all this, what else could be out there, hidden in plain sight?
Okay, my mind is officially double blown. Haha.
Right.
We've got levitation, a maybe weaponized Ark, impossibly precise stonework. You're saying there might be even more out there, stuff we haven't even thought of.
It's definitely possible. Our ideas about what's advanced might be holding us back. What if they understood forces of nature like gravity or magnetism in ways we can't even grasp?
Yeah, that's getting into some serious mind-bending territory. But I have to admit, it's super intriguing.
Right. Imagine if we could rediscover that knowledge, the potential breakthroughs for energy, medicine, everything.
Yeah, just thinking about the power of the Ark, if it even existed, is insane.
Exactly. And even if we never find all the answers, just thinking about these possibilities changes how we see the world and ourselves.
You know what strikes me? The sheer ingenuity, the creativity it would take to develop this kind of stuff. It makes you realize how much we underestimate ancient people.
Absolutely. We tend to think primitive, but maybe they were just different, not less advanced.
Yeah, maybe our way isn't the only way, and maybe there were other paths to progress, other ways of interacting with the world that we've forgotten. This whole conversation has been one giant what if, and I have to say, it's been a while since I felt this mentally energized. It's like a whole new world of possibilities has opened up.
That's the beauty of exploring the unknown. It forces us to question, to think critically, to be open to new ideas. Who knows, maybe we'll stumble on some lost knowledge that could help our world today.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is to never underestimate our ancestors. Who knows, maybe we walk right past evidence of their genius every day without even realizing it.
That's why staying curious is so important. Keep asking questions, keep wondering, and remember, the past might be way more complex and fascinating than we imagine.
This deep dive has definitely left me with more questions than answers, but in a good way. It's a reminder that there's still so much we don't know about history and the potential hidden within it.
And on that note, dear listener, we leave you with this. If we could truly free ourselves from our limited ideas about technology, what other impossible feats of ancient engineering might start to make sense?
Thanks for joining us on this amazing journey. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the unknown. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those imaginations going.
So the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, the one for the Bible.
Right, with the 10 Commandments and all that.
I remember learning about it, but I never thought of it as, like, advanced tech or anything.
Right, we usually think of it in a religious way.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you look at the stories, the details, it's like, wait a minute, there's something more going on here.
Okay, I'm curious now, what kind of details?
Well, first of all, there's this very specific blueprint for building it.
Huh.
Moses gets it, like directly, it's got to be built, just so.
Right.
And then there's this connection to this God, this powerful, maybe even dangerous God.
Yeah.
And then over and over, it's described as a weapon.
A weapon. I do remember something about it having power, but what do you mean, like a weapon?
Well, there's that story, with the Philistines.
Oh, yeah, they captured it, right.
Exactly. They take it from the Israelites, and then boom, 50,000 of them dropped dead.
50,000? That's a lot of people. Like, what happened?
It describes them getting tumors, going blind. It sounds a lot like radiation poisoning.
No way, really?
That's what the old texts say.
So maybe it wasn't just a religious symbol, you know?
Right. Maybe there was some tech involved that we just don't understand.
Yeah, wow.
And then you've got the story of Jericho.
Oh, yeah, the walls crumbling.
Exactly. They march around the city with the ark, and poof, the walls are gone.
I always thought that was more symbolic, you know?
Well, some versions of the story say the walls, like, melted, liquefied, as if some intense energy beam hit them.
Okay, that's pretty hard to explain with just, like, trumpets and shouting no matter how loud.
Exactly. It's like the ark had this power, this technology we haven't even thought of, some kind of focused energy or something.
Okay, now I see how this fits in with the whole lost civilization idea.
Right. We've got the sound levitation, maybe weaponized ark. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, for sure. So what else is there? Any more examples? Something a little more, I don't know, solid?
Absolutely. Let's go from the Bible to archaeology. Ancient Egypt has tons of mysteries, and the diorite vases are a perfect example.
Oh, yeah, I've seen pictures of those. They're amazing. The carvings are so intricate, and diorite is like one of the hardest stones there is.
Right. Experts have been studying them for years and can't figure out how they did it with ancient tools.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine what kind of tools could carve like that.
There's this guy, Chris Dunn, an expert in machine tools. Even he says it looks like some kind of advanced machining we can't even replicate today.
Whoa, really?
And it's not just the vases. They've found drill cores in Egypt, too.
Drill cores, like from drilling into the stone.
Yep, and they show signs of high-speed drilling, totally impossible with what we know about their tools.
It's like we're missing huge pieces of the puzzle.
Exactly. It's frustrating, but also kind of exciting, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
Think about it. If they did all this, what else could be out there? Hidden in plain sight.
Okay, you've officially blown my mind twice now.
Right.
We've got levitation, a maybe weaponized ark, impossibly precise stonework, and you're saying there might be even more stuff we haven't even considered. It's like we need to, I don't know, rethink how we look at history and archaeology.
I think you're right. We tend to define the past by what we know now, our understanding.
Yeah, like our way is the only way.
Exactly. But what if that's limiting us, you know? What if our definition of advanced technology is just wrong?
Okay, so let's try that. Let's forget about metal and electronics and all that. What else could there be? I mean, we've got sound, maybe some kind of energy with the ark. What else?
Well, some people are looking at the idea that maybe ancient civilizations understood natural forces better than we do.
Natural forces, like what?
Gravity, magnetism, maybe even consciousness itself.
Whoa, okay, that's getting pretty out there.
It is, but think about it. What if they could manipulate these forces in ways we can't even imagine?
That's mind-blowing. Imagine if we could rediscover that knowledge, the things we could do for energy, medicine, everything.
Right. And even if we never figure it all out, just the idea, the possibility, it changes how we see things.
You know, what really gets me is how clever, how creative they must have been to come up with this stuff.
Absolutely.
It makes you realize we shouldn't think of ancient people as primitive, just different.
Right. We assume our way is the best, the most advanced, but maybe there were other ways to progress, other ways of interacting with the world.
Yeah, ways we've just forgotten.
Exactly.
This whole conversation has been like one big what if, and honestly, it's been a while since I've felt this, I don't know, mentally fired up.
That's what I love about these mysteries. It makes you think, makes you question.
Yeah, and be open to new ideas.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find some lost knowledge that could help us today.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've learned is don't underestimate our ancestors.
For sure.
They were capable of amazing things, and who knows, maybe we walk right past evidence of it every day.
That's why it's so important to stay curious, you know, keep asking questions, keep an open mind.
Yeah, the past is way more complex and interesting than we think.
Absolutely.
Well, this deep dive has definitely left me with more questions than answers, but in a good way.
I know what you mean.
It's a reminder that we still have so much to learn about our history, and the possibilities are just incredible.
And on that note, dear listener, we'll leave you with this thought. If we could really let go of our limited ideas about technology, what other seemingly impossible things from the past might start to make sense?
Thanks for joining us on this awesome journey. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into the unknown.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those imaginations running wild.